Hi, and welcome to the episode of Utah Crossbow Hunter, where today is a very special day. You see behind me, we're getting ready for my wife's swearing in ceremony today. So I'm going to be recording that and bring it to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. So in just a little while we're going to have, but you see behind us, I don't know how well you can see it, but we do have some clouds in the area. You probably see a little bit of the canyon here behind me. Beautiful area, beautiful setup. There's 17 people that's going to be sworn in today, so stand by and we'll get this show on the road here in just a very few minutes, I hope.
Careful with this now.
But it is possible. I just can't.
How's everybody doing today? Great. So I see that you guys have the little flags, okay? So I'm going to do a little test shot here for a second, okay? And I'm going to get the canyon. Your legs are already tired from that walk. You might as well get your arms tired too.
Good morning, everybody. This is an amazing morning. Thank you for being here. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Officer Cunningham, one of the supervisors with the Salt Lake City Field Office for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Welcome you all to this very special ceremony. We're going to begin with the Star Spangled Banner, which will be sung by Tim Gates and Laney Gates. After that, we will hear some remarks from Jim Ireland, the Superintendent for Bryce Canyon National Park.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bryce Canyon National Park. Again, my name is Jim Ireland. I'm the superintendent. Today is the 106th anniversary of the creation of the National Park Service. I can't think of a better way to celebrate our birthday than with all of you today. We're honored to celebrate with you and host this ceremony in partnership with the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service and the U.S. District Court of Utah. Thank you again, Tim and Lainey, for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. That anthem, like the flag beside me, remind us that despite our individual differences and ideas, we are all Americans. We gather around these songs and these symbols, and we are proud to honor and welcome our newest American citizens here with us today. Like the flag and the anthem, national parks are a symbol of our shared heritage and our common bonds. Over 150 years ago, the American people dedicated special places like this, decided democratically that they should belong equally to all citizens, regardless of position or title or wealth. So today we welcome you as new citizens, not just as visitors, but as owners of all of this. You do have to share it though with about 330 million of the rest of us. And that can be a challenge. Sometimes we're not always good about sharing, but we work through it. And that's what America's all about. National parks are also places where America tells her stories. Stories of her people, her triumphs, and also her tragedies. At their best, parks like this, places like this remind us of who we are, where we have come from, and what we have learned along the way. Recently, I had the opportunity to meet with a group of elders from the Southern Paiute Nation who reminded me that they still live in this place that has been their home for hundreds of years, though too often their history is forgotten or misunderstood by those around them. And we honor this place as their homeland. Talking to them reminded me that we need to work harder. I need to work harder to remember to tell everyone's stories in places like this. As we tell each other's stories and learn about each other, we build understanding and we strengthen this great nation. I hope that places like this are where we build bridges together and not walls. Each of you has a personal story of hope, of courage, of aspiration, and perseverance that brought you here to this place at this time. Today, we publicly honor your stories. And with those stories, you strengthen this country. You strengthen all of us, this country that you've chosen to be a part of. So thank you for choosing to be with us here. At the end of the ceremony today, we have a small gift from the Bryce Canyon Natural History Association for you to take home. And I hope when you look at it, it will remind you of these places. Remind you that you're the owner of these places as you join with all citizens of the United States. I encourage you to come back often and share in the beauty and the stories found here. Again, welcome home. Thank you.
All right, so we are just about to make you new citizens. In a second, I will be calling your country. As I call your country of origin, please stand and remain standing. American Samoa. Chile. Cuba. Honduras. Iraq. Mexico. Peru. Philippines. Tanzania. Tonga. United Kingdom. Since I have the mic, I just wanted to say I am proud to have you as my brothers and sisters, American citizens, and thank you for your willingness to take this oath to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States against all enemies. Those that are born here don't have to make that oath when they are born, but you have promised, or you will shortly, to protect our nation, and I thank you for that. At this time, Your Honor, it is my privilege to present to the court 17 applicants for naturalization from 11 countries. Each applicant has been examined by an officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, and each applicant has been found to be eligible for naturalization. USCIS now comes before the court to move that all candidates be naturalized.
Thank you for your motion. It's with great pleasure that I grant it. Such a move for you.
Wow, this is so cool. Okay. I don't know if my voice doesn't carry to begin with, but you get the gist. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations and welcome. And I will be turning this back over to Mr. Cunningham to continue our program. And you're making me cry. You're so happy.
Congratulations.
It is our pleasure to hear from Linda Kazmarek from the Daughters of the American Revolution, after which Mary Jo, also from the Daughters of the American Revolution, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Your first time as the U.S. citizens saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll start with Linda. Oh, no. Linda's giving her speech first.
Congratulations to our newest Americans. My name is Linda Kesmerick, and I'm a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. It is our honor and privilege to be here to welcome you as official citizens of the United States of America. For over 240 years, this country has been blessed with the constant infusion of new people from all over the world who bring their languages, their heritage, their culture, and their values with them to enrich our country. Except for Native Americans, the citizens of this country are all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. The melding of immigrants has made the United States what it is today, an incredibly strong, diverse sometimes, but we're working on that. Democracy, providing opportunities for people to achieve the American dream. You've come a long way since you first arrived. You started out as strangers. It takes a lot of courage to follow the path you followed, to be here today, to start your new life. You have been through many adjustments, but have persevered, never losing sight of your goal. You are an inspiration to me. You help me to appreciate and not take for granted what we, as citizens, have in this country. Now you are just as American as I am, and as those whose ancestors came over on the Mayflower. The history of America is now your history. You are free to express your opinions, choose any religion or no religion at all, and to vote your conscience. There is no single American way to think or believe. With the privilege of citizenship comes a duty and a great responsibility. We the people come together to shape our country's course. Our system of self-government depends on ordinary citizens doing the hard, frustrating, but essential work of citizenship, of being informed and being involved. Americans vote to choose leaders, to make their voices heard on local and national issues, to hold leaders accountable, and to set the course for the future. Voting is the language of American democracy. We have the responsibility to follow the laws, but also to encourage our communities and to speak up for what we believe in. A duty to conduct ourselves to protect the rights of others and to help fellow citizens when they are in need. Our country was founded on the principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. E pluribus unum, out of many, our national motto. Thank you for adding your histories and experiences to the richness of our country. As we move forward together, it is our generation's task to continue building an America where freedom reigns. To help building an America where no matter who we are or what we look like, or who we love or what we believe, we are welcome and have the opportunity to make our lives what we will. We entrust part of our nation's future to you. We ask only that you love America, cherish her, honor, and protect her. We welcome you as our newest citizens. God bless you, and God bless America. Let's all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This is a great ceremony. I'm so happy to be here with you. We now are inviting any of the new citizens to come forward and share a little bit of their story. We'll start with our volunteer, Ofa. If you could come up. This is your open mic.
My name is Alpha Taumilau. I was born in Tonga. I first came to the United States of America as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I served in Oregon. I came back, and that was in 2013. I came back in 2015 to school at Brigham Young University and got married to my wife. She's from Enterprise, Utah, and we have 2 children together. And today is such an emotional day, becoming naturalized as an American citizen. I go to football games and I get to stand and hold my hand in my heart as they sing the national anthem. But today I just can't help but appreciate the blessing and what an honor it is to become a U.S. citizen. And it is a treasure. It's a moment that I will treasure for the rest of my life. Thank you.
All right, I know many of you are feeling shy, but if there's anyone else who would like to come up and share their story, share what it means for them to become citizens.
My name is Kathy. Talk louder.
There we go.
My name is Catherine Gray. I am from Philippines. I moved here since 2014. I moved here because I married a U.S. citizen, and now I have 3 kids. And I'm so happy that I live in the United States with my family, and my family of my husband is really grateful, and I'm really blessed that I have to live in the United States with happy family, and I have good work and meet wonderful people here. I live in Philippines with beautiful, like close to the ocean. That is that I miss, but I live in Utah with beautiful surrounding as well. Thank you for this opportunity to being a U.S. citizen.
All right, any more volunteers?
Don't make me issue an order.
Right here.
My name is Madeline Giddings. Originally I was born in Peru. I'm here with my husband. I wish my kids would have come. I don't know what we were thinking. They're in school right now. We have 2 kids, Max and Ariana. I've been living here for 15 years, married for 14 years, and I'm very happy and very honored to be an American citizen, especially now with my children, and we always instill in them to be proud of their country. Especially now my son is thinking of being in the Air Force, he says. But thank you so much. This is a beautiful ceremony. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and have it in this beautiful place. And I'm very happy, and I feel very proud today.
One more brave soul, come on.
Thank you so much for this moment. It's just beautiful. I cry. I am very happy. My heart is exploded now. My name is Veronica Saavedra. I'm coming for Chile. I'm 14 years living in this country. I love it, this country. This is a beautiful place. It's amazing people. I love it, these people around with me and help me for all the time, help me for the work and something growing a day. I love it, this country. I'm growing more time. I'm growing a day for my language too. And thank you for opportunity for here. Now I am in the United States.
Thank you all for volunteering to share your stories. Your stories are unique, and people need to hear them. Your neighbors, your friends, they've never had to go through what you did. And I appreciate you being willing to share today. We will now hear from U.S. Magistrate Judge Dustin B. Peed. After the judge speaks, we will hear America the Beautiful by Lainey Gates and Devin Hardy. What's your first name again?
I can hardly believe this stuff. And it's made all the more special because I get to join with you today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dustin Peed. I'm a United States Magistrate Judge working in Salt Lake City, but I promise you I've never had a courtroom like this. This is unbelievable. And afterwards, I'm going to prop myself over there, and if you want to take some pictures with me, I'd be happy to do it. I warn you, I hope you have some ugly filters on your camera. I can pixelate my face on it, something like that. Do we have any kids that are here? Steadily indicated she didn't bring her kids that were with her today. Any kids here skipping class? We got some skipping class, okay. I got an important message for you. You want to come up and then let's record a video for your principal, okay? You got a phone? You got your phone? Yeah. Pull out your phone. Come over here. I'm going to record a video for your principal. Did you girls get an excused absence? We don't know if there's a student.
Yeah, we might need the judge to sign it.
Perfect. Okay, turn your video. Now here, you can take a video of me real quick. I'm going to record a video for your principal, okay? All right, here we go. You ready? Dear Madam or Mr. Principal. Okay, go ahead. Dear Madam or Mr. Principal, the student showing you this video was absent from your school on August 25th. Maybe your records reflect it's an unexcused absence. If it is, I urge you to reconsider. Your student was present at a naturalization hearing, celebrating with lots of others one of our country's greatest practices, which is welcoming new people from all over the world as United States citizens. I would suggest to you, Madam or Mr. Principal, that this is a great civics lesson, and I believe it justifies their unexcused absence. But if you disagree, I welcome your coming to visit me in federal court so we can talk about it in person. All right, you got it? Okay. They didn't know they were going to get out of the gate of school. It's a thrill for me to be able to participate with you in this naturalization ceremony. It's one of my favorite things to do as a judge, and you can imagine why. This process represents a shared interest, a common goal, and the celebration of others. And as you might guess, my ordinary court work doesn't usually involve all three of those things, let alone one of them. But it's important that we recognize our commonality today. And I think we're still building a nation together, and frankly, we need your help to do it. I want to take a couple moments to thank the people who've already spoken or contributed. Tim Gates, obviously, Superintendent Ireland, thank you for allowing us to do this at such a beautiful location. Officer Cunningham, thank you for your comments. Ofa, thank you for yours. Catherine, thank you for yours. Melinda, no, I'm sorry, I got that right. Veronica, thank you for all of yours. Ofa, I have a question for you. When you go to these football games, is it BYU? High school. Okay, I'm just suggesting this might be a good time to say BYU. I'm wearing a blue robe, and that's a little hint. But isn't it amazing about all of the people that we get to hear from today? I think you've already heard the best that we can offer. I hope you won't mind my sharing just a few thoughts as well, though. Before I became a magistrate judge, I was an immigration judge. And you can imagine what it did in that setting. It was both wonderful and terrible. Wonderful in the sense that, can you imagine someone coming to immigration court and qualifying for asylum and being able to grant asylum and people being able to change their whole family, their whole generation by being granted asylum? That was the wonderful part. The terrible part was doing the alternative. People who had options to be in the United States and chose to engage in conduct which required me to deport them from the United States. My time as an immigration judge then was both very encouraging and very heartbreaking in many ways. But in order for us to really understand, I think, what it means to be a citizen of the United States, I want to take you back in time, about 200 years ago. The place is Philadelphia and Independence Hall. You may recall back then, we're just a fledgling country. We're just a loose Articles of Confederation. We're not really a full nation. We're just kind of bound together very loosely. For 4 months, delegates to the Constitution craft a Constitution behind closed doors. And on the final date, Benjamin Franklin urges the delegates, you may be aware of his response, "We have a republic if you can keep it." Now, what's lesser known is that it took the courage of basically 11 very decent people to make the compromise work, the Constitution come about. It looked like it wasn't going to happen. We had 11 wonderful people who got together and said, we are not going to let this fail. And so they agreed to compromise before they even knew what the compromise was going to look like. This is what some people have called the spirit of amity and mutual deference. And they had special rules. You had to attend. You had to listen to each other. You couldn't do any other work. There were secret votes. There was a presumption that you can and should change your mind. There was nothing wrong with saying then, hey, I think I felt that way now, or then, but now I feel this way now. Today in politics, you'll get called a flip-flopper if you say that. But back then, guess what you were called? Statesperson, because it mattered so much. They formed dinner groups. They got to know each other. And guess what happened? They were able to find commonality, craft a constitution, and that's why we're here today. What emerged from that constitution was revolutionary. The power giving the people who had the power, giving it back to we the people, selecting laws through constitutional design, creating 3 co-equal branches of government, but a charge to work together. What an amazing gift. But the Constitution's genius is only at its best when we're engaged. We have to be thoughtful, and the founders knew that even then. Thomas Jefferson is reported as having said, whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. So, indifference, apathy, impulsivity, and conflict stunt the Constitution's power. So citizenship is not a spectator's sport. So, how have we done? Well, more people can identify the 3 Stooges or the 4 houses of Hogwarts than they can the 3 branches of government. Right? Let's do the 4 houses of Hogwarts right now. Who are they? Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, right? It's not surprising then that only 32% of us can name the 3 branches of government. 33% can't name a single branch of government. 10% of college graduates, I want to emphasize college graduates, think that Judge Judy is on the Supreme Court. She seems okay, but she's not on the Supreme Court. And it's not just our lack of understanding that does damage, it's our lack of faith. I was troubled to read about a survey that was done in December of last year from an Institute of Politics poll at Harvard. Listen to this, 52% of 18 to 29-year-olds believe that American democracy is either in trouble or failing. And just 7% of that age group believes that the United States is a healthy democracy. Even worse, polls reflect that this group believes there's a very significant chance of civil war across the political spectrum. What a tragedy. We have to do better. I so much appreciated learning and hearing from some of you today. It's humbling to learn about your struggles, your path, your challenges to get to where we're at. It included leaving homelands. You talked about leaving your beautiful home on the beach, adjusting to a new culture, learning a new language. Your stories enrich us. Thank you for sharing them. The oath you took today requires you to renounce your allegiance to your native country. But here's what it does not mean. It does not mean that you must give up your love for your country, the land of your birth, the people for whom you love or lived. It does not mean forgetting or denying your native heritage, of course. On the contrary, the best of your culture is the best of ours. Your traditions enrich our own, like millions before us. There's strength in the differences between us, but there's comfort in where we overlap. The United States has long been seen to be a beacon to all types of people from every corner of the globe. And today we celebrate your incredible addition. Our very first president, George Washington, recognized the importance of immigrants to our land. Not just the rich and the high-ranking, but the oppressed, the persecuted, of all nations and all religions, whom we shall welcome to a participation in all of our rights and privileges. So we citizens are at our very best when we're civic-minded, we practice civility. Here's what I mean by this. We too often focus only on the freedoms that the United States provides, and we should. But in my mind, we are too quick to dismiss the social responsibility that comes with the freedom. Participate in the democratic process by voting in a way that is thoughtful and informed. I've heard it said that the freedoms of the United States are designed to make sure no one harms each other. That's of course true. But the brilliance of the freedom shines most when the people who live within democratic societies treat each other with respect. One suggestion I might offer to you that I have to do often with my own kids is not just to ask whether you can do something, but whether you should do something. Think about the difference. The person who only asks whether they can is rarely interested in anything other than themselves. But the should person, now that's someone special. They care about themselves, their community, their city, their state, and their nation. No doubt America has its challenges, and it certainly has its critics, but it is not doomed, and I reject the polls that suggest it has to be. I'm a firm optimist about the future. And if you see issues with America that need changing, and you will, work creatively to solve them. This beautiful backdrop is the perfect setting. If we can become and compare ourselves to the beauty of what we see behind us, we're just getting started with what this amazing country can really do. Calvin Coolidge said, "To live under the American Constitution is the greatest political privilege that has ever been recorded to the human race. It's a privilege that we should not take for granted. We, the people, can remain a constitutional republic if we strive hard to keep it." Thank you and congratulations.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
All right, we are going to present the candidates with their certificates of naturalization. Jim Ireland, the superintendent, will also be presenting the photograph that he mentioned earlier. In just a moment, I will call each of your names, the candidates, and please come forward and receive your certificate. I also want to remind you that the Daughters of the American Revolution have set up a table over here with waters, and they have some treats. You can grab those after the ceremony. The League of Women Voters also is set up over here, and they're willing to answer your questions about how to register to vote. Thank you all. It's been a privilege to be here with you. All right, the flags are being a little bit rambunctious. Tracy Carol Rosenheim. And Tracy. Edgar Alonso Arias Chavez. Catherine Lara Ninamago. Santiago Rafael Navas Perez. Angelina Guillén Borrego. Rolando Soto Guillén. Diana Rocio Luna. Ofa Tom Moalao. Yvonne Andrea Chelsea. Salumu Kaindu Rajabu. Veronica Saavedra Contreras. Johanny Alejandro Portal Carvajal. Lilia Karim. Gordon Lynn Bailoa Sefita.
Basta, Bobby Bailoa. Sorry.
Medalit Giddings. Catherine Alamo Rowe. Tomás Antonio Avila Rivera. Did I miss anybody? Excellent. Again, look over your certificates. If you have a question or there's an issue, please come talk to me. When you get home, you'll sign top right in black ink. Thank you again for attending the ceremony. Please feel free to have some waters and treats. Have a great day. Enjoy your park today.
Okay, you see we're back home. It was a long trip, even though it was a 2-day trip going an hour and a half from here. But it felt long, tiring, because we did a lot of stuff. We went up there on the 24th of August and went into the park, checked out the area that the ceremony was going to be held in, went through the park itself a little bit, went back to our hotel, which was in Tropic. It was, oh my gosh, Pioneer Village or something like that. Nice little place. Enjoyed our stay there. They had a nice little restaurant that was really fantastic. Got a few drops of rain that night, and woke up that morning to there was it was like a few drops of rain on the ground. Overcast and cool. We got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, got showered and all that kind of good stuff. Went into the city of Bryce Canyon. Had breakfast at Ruby's Inn, fantastic place. And went on into the park. Got to the park probably about 8:30ish, something like that. Hung out. I went out to the area that was where the ceremony was going to be at. Got my camera set up and everything, and it's trying to do this. Yeah. It was trying. It tried. Not once, not twice, not 3, at least 4 times it tried to rain. So, yeah. But the rain pretty much stayed away for the ceremony. So, but the ceremony itself was fantastic. There were 11 countries, 17 new citizens. So that was fantastic. And I'm going to give him a big time shout out to the U.S. Park Service and the superintendent of the park. He went above and beyond. I tell you, he did. He went above and beyond. The hotel that was, I guess you could say, host, where they checked in, their employees went above and beyond. They were friendly, so they made the whole thing a family atmosphere. That was impressive. That kind of touched you right here. There was an employee that I talked to as I was going out. He was looking forward to it. He'd never seen a swearing-in ceremony. He's heard about them. He's seen them on the internet and stuff like that. But his first one he got to see in person. And I seen him out there. There were a lot of people who were at the canyon that stopped to watch the ceremony. Had no relations to anybody there. They stopped and seen the ceremony. So it was fantastic. my dad, my granddaughter, my aunt, my cousins were there. But the only one who was missing was my mom. She was there, right here. And I know she'd be proud. Very proud. But anyways, again, everybody went above and beyond. Fantastic. And when I say above and beyond, the U.S. Park Services gave us, or gave my wife, these little pictures here. Fantastic pictures. I know the glare on that is going to be a little rough, but they even got this one. And I know it's, you can see my screen's on here, unfortunately, but yeah, we got this stuff. Fantastic. Very appreciated. And then the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the National Park Services. We also got this little book of the way that the ceremony was going to go. A nice little keepsake there. And it was part of the 103rd, whatever the guy said, part of the Park Services and Services. The flag code. I think this is more people need to read this about the flag. I mean, there's a lot of different information in here, and even on how to display, but the whole codes for the flag. Important stuff. They got their oath of allegiance. They keep with them. They keep with them. And on the back side, they have the words to the Star Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to read a little spot off of this oath because it means a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family. I was so proud of my wife. Her family is proud of them. Whether it be they have her family in Sweden, she has family in Philippines, family, my family is important, and everybody is so proud of her. This has been 8 years in coming, and the last year and a half has been pretty tough. We've had to go to Las Vegas for stuff. We've had to go to Salt Lake for stuff. And each way, it's a travel. It takes out time. But her work let her do it. That is important too. But I want to read a little bit here that I think is important for everybody. That I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law. Can't say it any better. I think there's a lot of people out there who need to read that again. You also got this little pamphlet. This pamphlet is, our booklet, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. 48 pages. 48 important pages. And it talks about how the Constitution was made and ratified. Important. I think people, again, need to reread it. And then most importantly, you got this. Certificate of Naturalization that makes her a full-fledged American citizen. And it says it was done at Bryce Canyon, Utah, August 25th, 2022. The beautiful certificate. But like I said, my family, her family, everybody's so proud of her. Most importantly, I'm proud of her. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your family and friends. Get it out there. Because that ceremony means a lot. Means a lot to a lot of people. With that, remember, family first. Take care of your family. And you thought I was going to say, by all means, get out there and hunt, but I'm not. Oh, I did say that. And I hope you liked it. Please share, like it. And if you don't mind, hitting that subscribe button down below. Even though I won't be bringing any more content like this. But it helps. So, again, thank you very much for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.